Hey man, not much. I actually woke up kind of earlier than I thought I would.
That's good. So before we get into it, just for full clarity, Leo might have to pop out for a little bit just because he's got a package coming. So just something for the listeners to know if he has to leave at any moment. Um, so before we get into that, how was your weekend?
Work, just work.
I had a very violent a very violent bout with food poisoning.
Oh, that's always fun.
Yeah.
Who won?
Food poisoning. It kicked my ass. Absolutely. Uh, so my Friday actually started. It was a really weird Friday. So um, I had to. It was our weekend with the kids, and usually, uh, I iron out somewhere for me and my ex to meet to get them,
Yeah.
and I get them after work. But something happened where she was not able to get them from school, so I had to leave work like 4 hours early to go pick them up.
Oh, wow.
And so I get home from work really early, and in, why don't we stop for dinner? And I was like, that sounds great. So I get in the car and I go and I get Wingstop and I come back and I'm pretty sure that's what got me. I think Wings betrayed me this time. Uh, and I was fine until like Friday, like probably like around midnight. And then like that's when I started to feel it. You know how you like when you're starting to get sick, you just kind of feel it creeping in.
Yeah.
And then it was just violently attacking my body for about 48 hours.
Oh god, that sucks so bad.
Yeah. So luckily we're on the other side of that now. And actually, the one thing that I did do while under the bout of food poisoning was I convinced Emily to watch Resident Evil Extinction with me, and that's why I was able to do it so fast.
Yeah, I gotta share the pain.
Well, okay, so I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. Uh, this movie is not as bad. Like, okay,
That's
this
what's
is
coming up
still
next.
this is still in the echelon of what I would say are okay Resident Evil cinema. Like this isn't it's not bad, but it's egregiously against the Resident Evil lore.
Oh yeah.
Uh like I mean she can just stop flames their mind and like just catch an entire flock of infected crows on fire. Uh
Yeah, the psychic
just
powers were just kind of like, yeah,
they
like
were
I, I don't think like you know what kind of movie you're making now.
yeah, like I remember when this movie came out, I was super excited for it because I'd watched the first two movies on the Sci-Fi Channel, and then uh, I wasn't old enough to get into a rated R movie by myself yet. So when this movie came out, I convinced my mom to take me, and I want to say that she just bought a ticket for herself, and then I think she left as soon as the movie started. So and like
Unattended
even
minor.
yeah, even then I was like, this isn't right. like, and I had like no touchstone for the movie. I hadn't played the games yet, except for like maybe four. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think there's psychic powers in Resident Evil. I really don't. Uh,
There's
and then
not.
I mean, they kind of explain it how they're trying to get to Alaska to this new thing, but like the beginning of the movie, it kind of sets up like the whole world is kind of like this desolate wasteland now, and then it's not. It, there's just so many plot holes in this movie. Uh, but that being said, uh, I enjoyed Carlos's character still in this movie.
Yeah, Carlos was fine.
Claire was acceptable. Uh,
I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the characters just kind of ran together, like for me, for this movie. It just kind of felt like all kind of just basically the same thing. Although, although I did have to make one notice. They wasted TJ.
yeah, I mean, and that's what I was about to get to. Like, hold on, I
Holding.
take a sip of my drink. So she has watched Apocalypse, but it's been a while, right? And so when we get to all these characters, I'm like, oh, it's TJ, oh, it's Carlos, and she's like, oh, are they like important? Are they from the games? It's like, no, they're from the last movie, but they're really not as big. They're like, it's like they lost all of their character except for the ending of the movie with Carlos. I thought that was a very good way to send his character out,
Yeah.
even though there were so many other ways I could have gotten in there. So many other ways.
Oh,
He did not have to do.
plenty
He did not have to
ways.
do that.
Yeah.
And honestly, that truck would not have worked as well as it did.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, but yeah, so what did you think of the movie?
I'm not gonna lie to you. At the beginning, okay, it was like okay, and then like at the end, I honestly could barely keep my attention on the movie.
I'll take a step further. I damn near fell asleep in this movie.
You know, I don't blame you. Like at the very end, I was like just checking my phone, doing other shit. I was just it could not keep my attention at all.
Let me tell you, if this can't keep your attention, you're in for a wild ride.
God damn it.
They only get exponentially worse from here.
Yeah, you told me, you warned me, and I'm still not looking forward to it.
God, I am so excited for you to watch Resident Evil: The Final Chapter because that movie makes this movie look like just
Masterpiece.
an yeah. It makes it look like a perfect 10 out of 10 movie in comparison.
Oh god damn it.
I mean, that movie is so hard to watch. Uh, but yeah, like, and even like you go back to like I think the casting for Claire is fine. Not exactly who I would have picked, but it's fine. But the most egregious casting for me is Wesker. I think the Wesker just was not. It wasn't it for me. I thought it was a terrible choice.
You know, the only reason I'm not giving Wesker any shit is because he doesn't do anything in this movie.
Well, guess what? He does a lot in the next movies.
Well, then, you know what? To be fair to him, I will judge him accordingly for when he shows up again.
And I mean, I get they are very obviously trying to mimic the movies as close as they can, and I will give them credit where credit is due. At least this Wesker is not as bad as the Welcome to Raccoon City Wesker. That one is atrocious.
Oh, God damn it.
Doesn't even look like him at all. So there's just a lot of like little casting issues here and there. Some of and it comes back to having a location that feels uninspired. Like they have like this Mad Max location, but
Yeah,
like
I actually wrote down the world turning into desert and modified car just feels like they wanted to make Mad Max with zombies.
yeah, and I mean it just feels like the world went to desert pretty quickly. Like it would have taken a lot longer than that.
Oh, yeah. Way, way, way longer.
Like, can you look up what the like? I know they say it in the movie, but can you tell me how long it's been between Apocalypse and Extinction?
I don't think that long, but yeah, give me a
I,
second.
I would think it has to be like a year or two at most.
Uh, t-
Anyway, while Leo looks that up, I'm looking at the lovely scenery. There's a train. There is an abandoned daiquiri shop, and there's a chicken. Somebody lost a chicken.
it's 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, no way. There's not a chance.
Yeah, with that kind of change, everybody would be dead.
Yes, exactly. It would take dozens of years, I would think.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so and then they've just got so many like weird subplots, like they're trying to domesticate the zombies, and it just doesn't work. Uh,
I put that like the smart zombies is kind of boring as a concept, just in general. Like unless you're gonna make them like like trickly smart, like to the point where like they're like called back up and shit. I don't really care for your smart zombies.
uh,
Speaking of like the whole super zombie thing, one thing I noticed that kind of like just felt stupid. It was well, once they all had the same boring uniform, so that kind of like made them just kind of look stupid to me.
yeah,
And Yeah, slitting their throats should not kill them.
Yeah, and they do stupid stuff like that a lot. Like there's so many times, and not just this movie, and all of them, where they're just blind firing, and I'm like, that's obviously not working. It's like and some of the CGI movies do this too. So I mean, nobody's innocent here. But like a lot of these movies, it's like they just want to make the gunfire look cool, so they don't care what the actors are doing.
Yeah, yeah, and just kind of like it just did not work for me. Like at that point, it was like they're super zombies. Like I can understand them being slowed down, maybe, but not like killed. You know?
Yeah, and like, and again, it looks cool. It looks Mila Jovovich, Alice's character with the little dual machete thing. That looks cool, but it doesn't work here. It's not for this movie.
I mean, I could understand if like she was beheading them because like okay,
Yes,
fine,
Michonne.
she's like a super soldier shit. Okay, fine, you're beheading them. Okay, that's fine. You get to kill them, but not like slit throats.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, Michonne in The Walking Dead is a completely normal human with a samurai sword, and she's just cutting off zombies' heads left and right.
All right, fair, fair.
Uh,
Also wrote down, I'm not as big a fan of the Cerberus design for this movie.
yeah, it was definitely cooler in the second one. Uh,
They just felt like too red, like you know.
well, I kind of wrote it off as that they probably did it that way because this is the apocalypse. Everything's run down. Everything looks like garbage. Uh, so I was able to let that go a little bit, but like, and it's really weird because this feels like it. This movie's location feels like it should be set closer to the end of this franchise because they do go back. I'm pretty sure the final chapter is set back in this desert area. Uh, like it's another Mad Max esque movie, if I remember correctly. I think like I'm pretty sure the next movie takes place in Alaska. Uh, but it's just it's like they is it Wes Anderson? Yeah, Wes Anderson.
Yeah,
It's like him and Mila Jovovich just like sat at a table and they took like a bunch of things they can make with a Resident Evil movie and they just threw like all the puzzle pieces on the table and they just picked up a random handful. It was like this is this movie,
yeah, yeah. I can see
and
that.
I
Like I even
can
put down, like the whole Project Alice just feels like an excuse to keep her around.
yeah, and it gets even dumber when you get when you think about how this movie ends and she's getting this clone army. Uh, as a kid, when I was watching this movie, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, oh, this is sick. But like watching it now as a fully grown adult, I'm like, this is stupid.
It is kind of stupid.
Uh, and the more I think about it, the more I think this movie is actually going to rank lower overall for me because while it is not as bad as the other movies, at least the other movies have touchstones to the game. Like they incorporate enemies from Resident Evil 4 and 5, and like I'm pretty sure in the next movie we have Ouroboros, uh, we have the executioners in the next movie. I'm pretty sure. So like they start to use stuff in the game. So I think I'll have more fun.
I get you. I do want to add one positive because I feel like we talked enough shit to like, I can give the movie a positive now. The zombie crowd murder was really good.
Yes, I'll agree with you there.
But they ruined it with one scene for me.
Hold on, I had another. I think what really holds this movie back for me is it is a fine movie, but not a good Resident Evil movie.
That's fair.
Like imagine if you take out all the Resident Evil terminology from this, and like we weren't thinking about that character's not right or there's not supposed to be psychic powers in Resident Evil. I think the movie goes up a lot higher.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the Halo series would be fine if it wasn't a Halo series because Master Chief doesn't take off his helmet. But that's neither here nor there.
Nor his armor.
Nor his armor. That's right. But yeah, that's kind of like my thought. Like, are there like any other thoughts that like you have for this movie?
I have like 3 left.
Okay,
Um,
go with yours.
yeah, the zombie crow scene, kind of ruined when they're passing people from the bus to the whatever the other car was, because it just kind of because crows are pretty smart in their just in general. Like, couldn't they have just put like I don't know like some guy with like a piece of metal up top, just be like, okay, pass, so like they can't get
Yeah,
them. Like, it just kind of felt stupid for me.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, the big bats being just very extremely generic was really boring.
Are you saying that the Doctor Mutant wasn't fun?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What? That was
Um,
like the best part of the movie.
to be fair, the Titan design was actually not bad.
Yes,
I
I'll agree with you
hated that
there.
he could talk.
Yes, he's not supposed to be able to do that. Well,
I
okay, okay,
honestly, like, I understand like what they made him smart. Like, I could handle him being smart. Just don't make him talk.
but doesn't I mean he's not technically a Titan, but doesn't Birkin talk in Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, but I mean, like, this guy was he was a Titan, by the way, because he had like the exposed heart and everything.
No, I was talking. Was Birkin technically a Titan?
Uh,
I mean a
you know,
tyrant. I've been thinking of tyrant, and I've been saying Titan.
yeah. Birkin. Oh, which one was Birkin? I keep forgetting.
He was in 2. He had the big eye on his shoulder.
Oh, no. He's not a tyrant. He has a G mutation.
Okay, so yeah, tyrant should not be able to speak. We've got that. We've got that squared away.
Yeah. I also found really stupid that TJ did not tell anybody he was bitten.
Yeah, and see, like I understand not wanting to die because I'm sure if he would, as soon as he would said, "Hey, I'm bitten," they'd have been like, "Oh, we either gotta leave or we gotta shoot you." Like I get that, but at the
No, but I
same
mean,
time,
like they even gave Carlos his like redemption after being bitten. So like, it just kind of felt out of nowhere. It just kind of felt like a waste. Also because like nobody checked if he was bitten. Like, you're traveling with like a shit ton of kids. Like, you would think they would check, you know?
also, the first time I saw somebody getting pale, I'd be like, "Let me check you." Yeah, you're looking awful suspicious there, buddy.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
especially if they start getting sick, like during the whole like um mutant like the super zombie like fight scene.
yes.
Because it just felt like bad plot point. Like, that's just way too cliche. Oh,
Uh,
and also my last thought. Obvious sequel bait is obvious.
are you talking about like how at the end where she says, "Me and my friends are coming" or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the part I thought was so cool as a kid. And then we get to the next part, the next movie. It's just a bunch of clones killing things. It's not as cool as it should be.
yeah. It just
And
no,
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no. I just said no. It just
And
wasn't this to
it
me.
was just like and me and my friends throughout high school, we all knew with these movies. Like we didn't go in with any like notions that these were going to be masterpieces of cinema, and we all knew they were going to be bad. It was like a guilty pleasure for us. But like we would always go in with like these high hopes, and we would have fun watching these stupid movies, and then they always end on these stupid cliffhangers. And I think either 4 or 5 has one that is particularly egregious.
Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that. Okay, just let me step out for a second.
Okay,
BRB.
well, anyway, guys, if you haven't listened to the handheld gaming series, we've got a couple of episodes of that out. But actually, the whole series might be out by the time this episode is out. At least 1 through 4 will be out for sure. You can check that out. Also, go over to our WordPress page, wordpress.thenightridehome.com. I think that's it. If it's not, you can just Google the Night Ride Home Podcast WordPress page, and you will find us there. Uh, Trying to think what else we have to plug. We should have a lot of reviews coming. I'm really behind on my reviews. I have all my reviews done. I just have to write them and record the podcast episodes for them. I've just been really lazy and I didn't want to do it, but that's not true. I wanted to do it. It's just been things been busy. I've been sick. Kids have been busy with football practices and extracurricular activities, and it's just a whole big thing. Let me take a sip of my drink. I switched to water. That's the thing I did about a week ago. I bought one of those circle bottles, and if you don't know what a circle bottle is, it's a water bottle, huh? And instead of having to put the flavoring in like from a pouch and mixing it with your water, you take it and there's like a little flavor cartridge that plugs into the top of the bottle, and the water goes through the flavor cartridge, and that's where you drink from, and it mixes the water and the flavoring before it even gets to your mouth, and it makes it just makes drinking water like such an easier choice to make. And I've had like an energy drink here and there, but I've cut back on my caffeine consumption a lot ever since I started doing it, and I I haven't had a single soda, I don't think, since Sunday. Last Sunday, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. So like just for reference, when this episode comes out, we're recording on the 28th, and I started drinking only water on the 18th. Uh, it might be not be a big step for some people. It's a huge step for me, and I think I hear Leo coming back.
What I miss?
I was telling the people I cut out sodas.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, have you ever heard of a circle bottle?
I have not.
Basically, it's a water bottle, and instead of it's got like these flavor cartridges,
All right.
and so like with a lot of flavored waters, you like have to like open up the packet and mix it into the water. But with the circle bottles, it's like these flavor cartridges, and the water goes through the cartridge, and then you drink, and the water comes out of the other end. So like it's like a little nozzle, and when you go to drink water out of it, it suctions the water up into the cartridge, mixes it with the flavoring, and then goes into your mouth.
That does sound pretty cool.
It is really cool, and it makes drinking water like such an easier like. The flavor packets are fine, but I would always get tired of like constantly like, all right, let me sit down, open this packet, and pour it into my water, mix it around. Okay, I either pour too much, mix, or I don't have enough water in the bottle, and this is like it's always the perfect ratio every time.
Nice.
But yeah, so as we were saying, I think that this is not a good Resident Evil movie, but it is a fine movie. Um, I think a lot of the characters' motivations in here are dumb. They're not necessary, and they waste a lot of characters' potential. As always, Alice is a horrible character. Uh, I think that the doctor was that turns into the tyrant. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I think he
Oh,
was well.
trust me, I wouldn't remember him either.
I think he was well acted for what he had. He's obviously I mean he's a good actor. Excuse me. But this movie is utterly forgettable. Like even though I watched it a few days ago, like I was having trouble remembering plot points.
Oh yeah.
So as far as ranking goes, I think I would put this above 4D and under Resident Evil 1.
You know, this is my fourth place for me currently.
Huh. So, sell me. I might come over to your side.
Oh no. Look, Resident Evil. Honestly, I put down like some little thoughts. It's a decent start for the live actions. It has some like good set pieces, but it just kind of feels a little bland.
Yeah.
4D, I just kind of found it kind of creative and just relatively short. So it's just kind of like it's like a fun little thing just to like watch. It's a nice novelty. That's the only reason it's higher up currently, because at least it was short.
You know what? You've sold me. Like as soon as it said "sell me," I was like, I bet he can, because I'm already picturing in my head what he could say that could win me over. And you said the right words.
It's that easy. It's that easy.
Well, you know what they call me, old Easy Doug. Uh, so our current Resident Evil ranking is at number 4. We have Resident Evil Extinction. Number 3, and a upset victory, we've got Resident Evil 4D Executor. Number 2, we've got Resident Evil 1, and at number 1, we've got Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Still
So
reigning supreme.
it's going to reign supreme for. Well, this if what I think is next, it might be unseated next week. Let me see. Let me pull up our handy dandy Resident Evil movie list. My spreadsheet.
We have Degeneration next.
Okay, that one might unseat it, because I remember really liking Degeneration.
Yeah, same here.
And then right after that, we're right back into the Resident Evil live action for 2 movies.
I can never get some rest, can I?
All right. Well, as always, thank everybody for listening, and thank you for joining me, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been kind of fun going through these movies, even if they're kind of painful sometimes. I know they're going to be more painful later.
Oh, they're going to be so painful. Bye.